Alright, so what I actually did in my video was I made a particle system to create a little explosion of particles where the beginning of the clip was, or beginning of the stroke was. So you're going to make a comp size black solid, go to effect, simulation, CC particle world, turn off your grid, go into your particle, change it to a faded sphere or a shaded sphere, whichever one you prefer. Both of them look alright. I just like the look of the faded sphere a little better. So yeah, you got that, and then you're gonna want to go into the birth rate and birth rate and longevity, and change it so that the balls are only coming out at the rate that you want them to, which looks pretty good there. And you're going to want to go to the physics and turn the gravity to 0 so that they're just exploding out from a central point. You can play with these settings a little bit to make it look better. You can change the color of the particles and whatnot. This is just a pretty basic particle system. I think I might actually make it, because this is a relatively small mask, make the longevity down to about 0.2. Alright, yeah, there we go. So then you're going to want to go to the beginning where your explosion takes place. Well, not your explosion, your strokes begin. You're going to want to keyframe the birth rate, move back a couple frames, set that to 0. Let's hit U to view our keyframes. Move forward a little bit. Go forward a couple frames. Hit this little thing to mark another keyframe. Go ahead and change the birth rate down to 0. So that should create a nice little explosion of particles that goes real quick and then dissipates. And that looks good. I guess maybe make these keyframes a little closer together. Alright. So there you go. Nice little explosion of particles. And then what you're going to want to do is, I guess, shift this over a little bit so that the particles are I don't know, maybe right about here. Yeah, where it was. So that was pointless. Yeah, so there you go. And then you're going to want to duplicate this 3 times, or however many times, or however many strokes you have duplicated for each one. Head to the position, and then go back to the first frame, and just check where your thing starts, where each of your little strokes start. And then just move the particle so that this little crosshair right here is right on the edge of that stroke. So do that with each one of these different particle layers. Last one. And there you go. And then when you look at this, you have a nice little explosion of particles, and then the stroke comes out. Let's see how this looks. Oh, it looks pretty nice if you ask me. Yeah, so then the second part of the tutorial that I had was, let me just grab all these, click the top one, hit shift, click the bottom one, hit layer, pre-compose, okay. So now everything's all in one comp. And then you're going to want to choose the scale, alright. Scale and rotation and position. You can bring each one up together by hitting R, and then Shift S, then Shift P. And what you're going to want to do is, after your stroke is finished and your particles have dissipated, you're going to want to keyframe all these and then go forward a bunch of frames. And then you're just going to want to zoom it in and move around the position until you're somewhere in your Spartan. Scale it up, and then you might want to add some rotation just a little bit for the effect so it looks better. Move this in, and generally what I did in the other one is I zoomed into the red and then I zoomed out on the red flag so that it looked like I was going from red to red instead of just random colors together. But it really doesn't matter, you can do whatever you want. You just gotta grab this and make it so that it fills up the whole screen. And that looks about good right there. So then you're going to want to pre-compose again. Hit this one, the middle one. You should have done that on the last one. So if something was wrong, that was probably what you want to have. Move all attributes into the new comp. Hit OK. And there you go. You should have a nice zoom in. And then what you're going to want to do is duplicate this layer, hit Control D, find the frame where you're last in, move this edge down to here. Then you're going to bring in the other clip that you want to be zooming in on. So let me bring in this clip. And I forgot that this Spartan was blue. I thought he was red, but whatever. It'll look fine for this. Gonna want to hit. Actually, this is actually a animated angle. It's just that it took me a while to start capturing it, so I might not actually need to do the time freeze thing to make it a still, but I'm gonna do it anyway, just to be safe. So yeah, then you got there. Alright, so now you got your background. And actually, I forgot. I'm going to bring this back up. Going to want to do this same little thing with the position. You're going to end the scale and rotation. Going to want to move over. Now, this is just a rough estimate. You're going to probably want to switch this back after you're done. Move that there, and then go back to this frame. And you're going to want to zoom in on your Spartan. And do the same thing that you did in the other comp. Okay. Or not in the other comp, on the other clip. And make that look semi-decent. And I'm not going to bother adding rotation, so. And, alright, so now you got that. We can layer pre-compose. And it would be a good idea to name your compositions so to keep this organized. I generally don't do that because I'm disorganized. But whatever. Oh, and you're going to want to go back into there and bring up your keyframes again. And you're going to want to actually keep these keyframes, move them down a little bit, so you have a little bit more time where it's still before you zoom out again. So yeah, let's go back into our main comp and unsolo this layer. So right now it just looks like this, and if you take these layers off, you just have that. But why you duplicated this layer, and you're gonna actually need to duplicate this one later, is so that you can use the effect simulation CC ball action. And what that does is it's a really cool effect that it just takes your comp and it turns it into a whole bunch of different balls, so that those balls can scatter, they can twist. It's all really cool. It's a cool effect. I really like it. I've used it in pretty much all my montages since Monkey is Best montage that I made all those months ago. Yeah, so you're going to want to trim this comp down to this size so that there's no overlay. And you're going to want to get this effect up, and you can play with it to make it look good. Let me turn this off so it just looks like this frame. And yeah, so you can see the scatter. These balls might be a little bit small. I don't know if you want to try like 8. That looks about right to me. So let me just set the scatter down to 0. So what you're going to want to do is keyframe the scatter. Go forward a few frames. Bring it up a whole bunch. Hit the twist. Go back. Let me hit U so I can see where my keyframes are at. Hit twist angle. Move forward and then move up the twist angle just for a little bit of different look for the particles, so when they explode it looks kind of neat like that. And then what you're going to want to do is bring this one back. Actually, let's turn these two off and duplicate this. Then you're going to want to pull this one back down here, and that's probably going to be around here where this one stops, and then pull this one down to there. And then on this top one, you're going to want to bring in the CC ball action again, right here. Set it to the same grid spacing, and yeah, you're right here. And you're going to want to actually put the keyframe right here for the scatter and twist angle, and then go back here and bump them up and rotate the twist angle so that it's going like this. It's going the opposite way of the other one pretty much. So when you turn these layers back on, you have the thing shatter into a whole bunch of balls, and they're both twisting together. And you're going to want to keyframe the opacity on this one. Set it up to 100, move that over a couple frames, maybe about here, yeah. And then hit 0 so that the opacity goes like that, and then they fade into each other. Now, it looked better in the other one because they were both red. There was a stupid mistake on my part thinking this Spartan was red, but really it's not a big deal. And yeah, so that pretty much sums it up. You can use this effect for pretty much in any way you want with whatever. And it's a really neat effect. If you execute it properly, it looks nice. Yeah, looking at this pre-rendered, it might be a good idea to maybe set some I forget what it's called actually. It's when you hit a keyframe and you hit F9. It makes it kind of like go in like it's I don't know. It's kind of like eases in as opposed to just going in full force to make it look kind of nice. And I think I made mine a little fast. You're gonna want to space out your keyframes a little more than I did, but overall that's the general idea on how you do it. So if you if you can come up with any other applications, make the effect look better, then go for it, because I by no means am a master of After Effects. So that's about it for this tutorial. Hope you guys learned something, or at least enjoyed it, which if you didn't learn anything, you probably didn't enjoy it, because I'm not particularly funny or anything. So, that's it, and I will see you guys later.